Mount your full-frame Canon DSLR to the back of a view camera with our 4x5 Canon EF Stretch stitching adapter. This adapter from PhotoDiox allows you to turn your Canon EF full-frame camera into a digital back for any 4x5 view camera with a supported Graph-Lock back. Just mount the Canon EF camera on the adapter, mount the adapter to a 4x5 view camera, then use the stitching guides to slide the camera back and forth, capturing multiple photos to stitch together in post for a final large format image. Here's how to use the 4x5 Canon EF Stretch. Start by using the included hex key to loosen the flange distance adjustment screw at the top of the adapter. For Canon EF cameras with a larger hand grip, you'll need to loosen this screw, extend the camera mount tube all the way out, and retighten the screw. Next, mount your Canon EF camera onto the adapter by lining up the mounting dots, pressing the adapter and camera together, and rotating the adapter to lock it to the camera. Place the adapter on the rear of a 4x5 view camera that has a Graph-Lock back, slide in the two Graph-Lock locking tabs on the top and bottom to lock the adapter to the view camera, and you're ready to shoot. To shoot through the center of the view camera's lens, slide the adapter plate so the top white dot lines up with the center white dot on the adapter, and tighten the adapter's silver locking screw. To shoot a multi-photo stitched image, use one of the 4 stitching mode guides detailed on the adapter. Before we create a stitched image with this adapter, you'll need to set up your camera for best results. Set your ISO and shutter speed to manual settings, and set your white balance from auto to a white balance setting that suits your scene. If you use auto settings when stitching, the multiple images you capture may have different exposures and color balances that won't stitch together as well. Once you have your Canon EF camera ready, set your view camera's aperture and focus. To set up your view camera's framing, slide the Canon camera back and forth on the adapter and flip the Graph-Lock back 180 degrees to see the boundaries of your shot. We don't recommend using your view camera's ground glass to frame or focus because the adapter offsets the focal plane and crops in the framing, so using the ground glass won't give you accurate results. To use the 66x44mm stitching mode, rotate the camera to landscape orientation on the adapter. Line up the top white dot with the left red dot and take a photo. Slide to the right red dot and take a second photo. Now rotate the Graph-Lock back on your view camera 180 degrees. For some cameras, this will include removing the Graph-Lock back, rotating it, and reattaching it to the camera. Line up the top white dot with the left red dot and take a third photo. Then slide to the right red dot and take a fourth photo. Import these 4 photos into Photoshop or another photo editing app of your choice, and use Photo Merge to stitch them together into a final 66x44mm image. To use the 90x44mm stitching mode, make sure the camera is rotated to landscape orientation on the adapter. Line up the top white dot with the left blue dot and take a photo. Slide to the center white dot and take a second photo. Then slide to the right blue dot and take a third photo. Rotate the Graph-Lock back on your view camera 180 degrees. Line up the top white dot with the left blue dot and take a fourth photo. Slide to the center white dot and take a fifth photo. Then slide to the right blue dot and take a sixth photo. Import these 6 photos into Photoshop and use Photo Merge to stitch them together into a final 90x44mm image. To use the 60x60mm stitching mode, rotate the camera to portrait orientation on the adapter. Line up the top white dot with the left middle white dot and take a photo. Slide to the center white dot and take a second photo. Then slide to the right middle white dot and take a third photo. Rotate the Graph-Lock back on your view camera 180 degrees. Line up the top white dot with the left middle white dot and take a fourth photo. Slide to the center white dot and take a fifth photo. Then slide to the right middle white dot and take a sixth photo. Import these 6 photos into your photo editing app and use Photo Merge to stitch them together into a final 60x60mm image. To use the 78x60mm stitching mode, rotate the camera to portrait orientation on the adapter. Line up the top white dot with the far left white dot and take a photo. Slide to the middle white dot and take a second photo. Slide to the center white dot and take a third photo. Slide to the middle right white dot and take a fourth photo. Then slide to the far right white dot and take a fifth photo. Rotate the Graph-Lock back on your view camera 180 degrees. Line up the top white dot with the far left white dot and take a sixth photo. Slide to the middle left white dot and take a 7th photo. Slide to the center white dot and take an 8th photo. Slide to the middle right white dot and take a 9th photo. Then slide to the far right white dot and take a 10th photo. Import these 10 photos into your photo editing app and use Photo Merge to stitch them together into a final 78 by 60 millimeter image. Here are a few technical notes. This stitching adapter only works with full-frame Canon EF cameras. APS crop sensor cameras won't give you the coverage you need to stitch the images together, so they won't work on this adapter. When creating stitched images with this adapter, make sure your subject matter is relatively still. If it's not, the multiple photos you capture may not stitch together as well. One way to address this problem is to blur movement in your scene with long exposure times. Your 4x5 view camera must utilize a Graflock rear standard mount to work with this adapter. Without a Graflock rear standard mount, you won't be able to use this adapter on your view camera. View camera lenses that require the lens to be very close to the film plane for infinity focus may not focus to infinity when used with this adapter. This is because the adapter recesses the focal plane of your camera behind where the camera's normal focal plane is normally located. A good rule of thumb: if you have to almost entirely close your view camera's bellows to get a lens to focus to infinity, it most likely won't focus to infinity with this adapter. Unfortunately, this adapter will not work well on most field cameras like the Graflex Speed or Crown Graphic due to their standard wider lenses. These lenses do not have a deep enough focal flange distance to accommodate the extra space needed to mount your digital camera. And when mounted on a field camera, our 4x5 adapter will only give you extreme macro focusing with the field camera's lens. To achieve infinity focus with the field camera, you'll need to use a longer lens or a recessed lens board. Also, most field cameras do not give you the option of rotating your Graflock back 180 degrees, which means you'll only be able to use one row of the stitching adapter rather than both. So while it's possible to use this adapter on a field camera, you'll have limited success without some modifications. Our 4x5 Canon EF Stretch Stitching Adapter is a great way to digitize your 4x5 view camera. Click the link in the description below to learn more about this 4x5 adapter, as well as the other 4x5 adapters Photodiox offers. And comment below if you have any questions. We'd love to help you out. Also, click here to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.